bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up. Going solar with 320 may cost you nothing down. But the work we do is not a $0 job. With a 10-year roof penetration warranty and solar panels guaranteed for 25 years, you can have peace of mind knowing we will do the job right every time without question. .320 Solar. Power up.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Monday's edition, Victory Monday, with Sports Talk 49 live on BucksReport.com every Monday and Friday. Monday doing postgame, Friday doing pregame, and this show is powered by 320 Solar. As Peter would say, power by 320 Solar. We got plenty of goodies today. And as always, let's get through the preliminary process. We're going to have Jamal Sanders, J Buck, J Boogie, as a lot of people know him. He'll be on, and of course, my guest co-host Allison Kohler will be on around 3:30. But Jamal is going to bring us what his perspective was from the game. He's out there live in Denver and all that. So it's going to be a great experience. A lot of people know him, social media at the games. You can't miss him. It's like Phantom of the Opera, but a Buccaneer version. And he brings fire and energy and everything. He's just a great guy to be around and just a joyful person. But as always, before we get into all that, make sure you guys check out all the other great shows here on BucksReport.com. You had Ask Me Anything with Nick Citro on Twitter. You got me at 3 p.m. And then you have Peter wrapping up the night at 9 p.m., putting you to bed, giving you something to think about, as he always says. But always make sure to check out 320 Solar, 320solar.com. Pay nothing out of pocket at it till 2022. They will pay for your electric bill if you get a consultation. So you can't beat that. It's a good deal. Plus, you own your power in your house. So 320solar.com. Check them out. Always our sports bar and grill at the Deck Bar and Grill at Isla del Sol, official sports bar at BucksReport.com. Make sure to check those guys out in the remotes. They're every Sunday. And as always, last but definitely not least, MyCannabisCard.com, Fast Track Clinics of America, nation's largest medical marijuana doctor network. Over 2,500 state licensed doctors in all 32 states. Marijuana is legal. Also saving yourself 30% by just mentioning Bucks Report or Sports Talk 49. Without further ado, let me get you this man. No, not that man, but this man right here, Mr. J Buck himself. What's going on,
brother? Hey, Blake, man, what's good, man? What's popping, bro? What's popping?
Not much. It's victory. It's Victory Monday. There's a lot to be smiling about.
Oh,
Bucks are on a
man.
2-game win streak, going for 3. So you're out there in Denver,
Yes,
doing
sir.
your thing as you always do.
Yes,
You're
sir.
Still there currently, right?
Still there. Yeah, my flight don't leave until later this afternoon. So I'm actually pulling up at this spot called Rockin' Lobster. So I'm finna, me and my friend of mine, we finna, I think it's called the lobster roll and some lobster mac and cheese. So I'm looking forward to this. So yeah, I'm still in Denver. I'm enjoying this cool weather. You know, Tampa hot. You know, we've been dealing with some hot weather. You know. These past few months. So I'm enjoying this little cool breeze for right now.
Definitely, because if it definitely was a home game here, you'd be dealing with a hot September, roasting and frying out there. You're in Denver with a nice cool breeze, the elevation. It looks like you're doing just fine with the elevation.
Yeah, man. I can definitely, I was definitely able to feel the shift in the atmosphere, you know, as far as, you know, with the elevation and all that. But, you know, overall, man, you know, it's been an amazing experience. I must say, it's been very amazing. Denver, all right with me.
Hey, there you have it. You had the Atomic Blonde on there. She was out there. She's from Colorado. We had her on there Sunday. She getting her pregame, drinking her mimosas out there, getting before the game.
Yes, sir.
So what's your perspective on the game? I know you always go live on your page or something. I want to get you in front of a lot of people because you bring a lot of passion, man. I want people to know who you are and what kind of passion you bring, because you know Tampa Bay is a lot of negativity. You and myself try to eliminate that a lot. We try our best.
Yes,
you're definitely good with that, and I try to be like that. You motivate me to do that. You and Big Nasty and guys like that. I got that from you guys. So give us what your perspective was out there.
Just the overall, you know, experience of the game. Well, first off, you know, it's Victory Monday, so of course let's acknowledge that. Again, but just with the team, and I just think overall it was a solid win. Of course it was a much needed win, but it was definitely the way that we won. I think we won the way that we were supposed to win. We was able to get a solid win even without us not hitting on all cylinders yet. You know, we all know that the offense haven't peaked. The defense is still riding this wave, you know, from in my humble opinion, from the last 6 games of last year. They still appear to be riding that wave. I know you're very excited about our linebacker core, our secondary, like our front seven in my humble opinion, have been real solid so far. These first 3 games. But in my opinion, Denver to me was not no slouch. I think with them being down with their quarterback, I think that Denver overall, in my opinion, have a solid defense. I think they came in with the right game plan. As we all know, they pretty much double teamed Mike Evans, the whole game. So it forced us, to get production in other areas. Our tight ends, Gronkowski, was able to, get a few catches in. OJ Howard, made a couple of plays. Receiver corps, Scotty Miller, made a couple of plays for us. So I think Denver went in it with the mind frame of picking their poison, and they picked Mike Evans. They did whatever they could to shut him down, even though he got, the red zone. He was very productive for us, but I think the win was solid. I as far as the offense, I think Brady did a good job at playing within the offense. I think one thing, the difference between him and Jameis, I like how he takes what the defense give him. The O-line, I think, is stepping up. I think the few sacks that was given up, I think we gave up 2 or 3 sacks. 2 of them, in my opinion, was coverage sacks.
I agree.
But the running game started off a little slow, but I think, as the game went on, it picked up a little bit. But most the special teams, I got to give credit to the special teams. The block punt really that set the tone of the game, and we was able to ride that wave, towards the end. So I think overall it was a solid win for the team, a team that we were supposed to beat, So I'm just curious to see how we're going to continue to build on this. But I think overall it was a solid win for us.
Absolutely. I think you said it correct. I think you hit a lot of great points there. One on all cylinders, started the day off with a spot on the team that nobody expected. Special teams, shocker.
Yeah.
Our kicker made all his kicks. The block extra point is obviously not the kicker's fault. It was just a great play by the guy, jumped over the center and blocked it. There's nothing you can do about that. It was a great timing play. And as far as that, defense showed out. Offense, all they had to do was score 3 points in the second half, and they pretty much shut down Denver in the second half. And I agree with you. I think Denver's offensive game plan didn't really help Driscoll too much, especially when they got behind. They totally eliminated Melvin Gordon out the game. He was a non-factor whatsoever. I think he barely had 50 yards in receiving and rushing combined. So he was totally eliminated. The exit of Phillip Lindsay is definitely hurting Denver there, and Cortland Sutton, and relying on rookie receivers. But you said it right. Everybody talked about Rob Gronkowski not getting any offense, and then lo and behold, days later, he comes up with 6 receptions for 48 yards, possibly a touchdown. Tom just throws it 2 yards too deep in the end zone.
Exactly.
Should have been a touchdown, but it's fine. They still scored on that drive, but they worked in OJ Howard. You said everything exactly what happened. And that's what you're supposed to do when you have guys go down like Godwin. Other guys got to step up. Godwin went out with a hamstring injury. Sean Murphy Bunting went down with a hamstring/groin, and those guys didn't miss a beat. It was they went right in like they was there the whole game.
Right, and there's no way or whatever that I can be on your platform or whatever, and not I have to acknowledge Antoine Whitfield Jr.
Oh yes, we was getting to that.
Like my thing is, and just with watching the game now, mind you, I think when I'm at the game, of course, I still like to kind of still go back and still watch it on TV, but be actually physically being there and watching on TV, you get 2 different perspectives. But I mean, every time I looked, I just how Bowles is using them. Like 1 minute I seen he was in the slot, then he's coming in on a blitz, and then I see him at the single high. So just with the versatility alone that he brings to the defense is just, is I mean, if we're not excited about this and the potential where this defense is going to go, I mean, I just don't know what to say in that regards. And then my thing is, I even remember having a couple of conversations about Shaq Barrett and how people was feeling, now he's a shell of himself after 2 games, and lo and behold, what he does, he steps up in the big way. 2 sacks, and one of the sacks, was for a safety. So I'm really, if our defense can continue to build this momentum, like I don't, and we continue to find this running game. My thing is Brady is he the GOAT. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna find himself. He's gonna catch a groove or build upon, and he's acknowledging, that he's still learning. So my thing is, I trust that the offense is gonna hit its peak, and I think it's gonna come at a crucial time during the season. But I think that we'll be okay if the defense can stay consistent like they've been the past 3 games. The secondary continue to grow. We still generate, whatever the pass rush. I love how Bowles is mixing up the front seven. I'm starting to become more and more excited about this team. I don't want to get, overly excited. I want to keep things into perspective, but I'm really proud of as far as what our defense has been doing so far.
I agree, especially with Antoine Winfield. And I have a clip from Shaq Barrett I can play real quick what he said about Antoine Winfield. Let me pull that up real quick. It's real quick. He says exactly what you said. Hold on.
What's it like seeing Antoine Winfield get into the backfield, the rookie who's made a lot of big plays for you guys so far?
Yeah, he the real deal. He came in every game. He did something big for us, doing something good for us. I don't even think he ever did anything like a mental error or anything. I don't even think he got a missed tag. So he's everything and more that we could have asked for.
Thank you.
And there you have it, Shaq Barrett. He's everything you could ask for. just what Jamal just said. He's doing everything everywhere, and he's right. I don't remember him making a bad play. All I remember is him being everywhere in the box like a linebacker, back at safety. He replaced, as I just mentioned, Sean Murphy Bunting at the nickel spot and jumped right in there. He didn't miss a beat
at all.
It's
yes,
just.
sir.
Okay, I mean, in your opinion, you think he's going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year, the steal of the draft?
I mean, who right now? Defensive Rookie of the Year is one thing, and again, I want to keep this into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to overanalyze it, whatever, or But my thing is, I've been watching a lot of games so far this past 3 weeks, and what other defensive player right now is playing better than him?
None. Not even Jamal Adams.
I say that with all due respect.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we still have 13 more games to go. We still have a whole season, tons of football, whatever to play. So again, I say that we're keeping it all into perspective. But right now, I don't see a defensive player across the league that's playing better than him right now. And I've been watching a lot of football these past 3 weeks, and I mean. He's doing some great things on his defense right now. And his dad was at the game, by the way.
That's awesome.
His dad was at the game. So.
And he has a lot to do with the guy that you see, the maturity, as Arian said.
Yes.
Looks like a 5-year veteran. And that's the advantages of having siblings and fathers that played in the league, because he already knows how to look at tape, how to dissect tendencies of players and things like that. That you can't all learn it. You can learn it sometimes on your own. But having an upper hand as his father, Antoine Winfield Sr., prominent player in the league for such a very long time, it's really showing.
Yes, I have to agree.
Yep. I appreciate you coming on, Jamal. You want to promote yourself and everything? Let everybody know where they can find your stuff and everything.
Hey, everybody. Again, I just want to thank you again for having me. I'm your number one fan. I tune in every week, so thank you for bringing me on. But follow me on Facebook, Jamal J Buck Sanders. You can also follow me on Instagram, JBuck525. You can follow me on Twitter, JBuck525. Be on the lookout for the 525 plan. So again, I just Blake, I want to thank you for having me on, brother, and continue doing your thing, man.
Yep, we do it. Bringing the passion out here and trying to spread love and joy out here in the Tampa community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. Stay safe out there and enjoy that. What's that? Lobster macaroni and cheese?
Yes, sir. Lobster
Lord
roll.
of mercy.
Lobster roll and lobster mac and cheese. What's the spot called?
The Rockin' Lobster.
Rockin'
Lobster.
So I'm finna eat good before I board this plane.
And have a nice nap on the plane. I can already tell.
No. Well, wait. It's 2 hours. It's a 2-hour difference here. So when I get on the plane or whatever, I'm trying to watch this Lightning game. So Lightning can handle business. So I'm finna be wide awake. My anxiety going for that. But
He said, I'm not even gonna go to sleep. He said, I'm ready for this.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right,
So
guys.
thank you, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Always take it easy.
You too.
Jamal Sanders, man, awesome. Like I said, he's always awesome at games and everything, and he brings a lot of perspective at football. You know, he doesn't really like do the like media type stuff like that. Like he says his opinions and things like that, but he knows a lot of knowledge and he has a lot of Tampa Bay history right there, especially like guys like Big Nasty and stuff like that. They maybe you may consider them fans. But those guys have watched this team for years, and they could tell you what's happened from a fan's perspective and, you know, and teams and the direction of the team and stuff like that. So it's awesome. And if you're just tuning in, there's a Sports Talk 49 live on BooksReport.com that is powered by 320 Solar at 320solar.com. Make sure you check out the Deck Bar and Grill, Isa del Sol. And as always, Fast Track Clinics of Cannabis Clinics of America at mycannabiscard.com. We're not at the 30-minute marker, so I'm gonna read some of these comments and we'll go to a break and then we'll get Allison on here at 3:30. So I don't want to neglect you guys, so let me roll back and get to these. Somebody said something about the injury. I don't know much yet. I know Misador said non-contract hamstring injuries are rough. Yes, it is. I hope it's nothing serious. I hope it's just a tweak. But it seems like these guys are just getting injured early. Hopefully they can get it out of the way later on in the season, earlier this year, and then later on in the year that these issues don't come back up. Misador watching the game. A lot of things done right, leading the beat plays. Yep, little things done right, doing your job, Misador. I agree with that 110%. Let's fire the cannons. Oh, that's Peter that got the cannon. Yeah, absolutely. What up, Jay Boogie, Deshaun? Hey, will they have game seats open this summer? They should. If they have it open this week, they should have more open, Deshaun. So make sure to keep an eye on that. Get with me off air. You got me on social media. And I'll try to hook you up with my agent and see if she can set you up with tickets in December. I heard week 4 they might start. I hope so too. I hope they do start in week 4. I might have a treat on here for you, Friday edition for the Charger stuff. So stay tuned and look forward to that as well. I'm looking to hear back from his agent and see what's going on with that. Who's going to the game this Sunday? Like our special teams yesterday. I agree, Eric. All aspects, kicking and punt blocking. Jay, we're breaking the curse, the kicking curse. No more getting beat by getting tossed by backup QBs. Yep. And that's how you handle them, just the way they did. Christopher Cole, I saw that. I want to make sure to get to this. I have a question. Dan O believes that the Packers are the best defense in the NFC and the best team in the NFC. Your thoughts? Well, people tend to believe teams are the best when they score a lot of points. And Packers defense has gotten a lot better over time. They were really bad at one point, and Aaron Rodgers pretty much had to score every series and everything like that. But I mean, it's really give or take opportunities. They're scoring at will. They're finding ways to score, and the new head coach there is getting the offense rolling, and the team is believing in the system. So I don't know. It's still early to say that who's the best. If you're talking about best right now, I'd say the Bucs have pretty much one of the better defenses in the league. And I will have to give Packers the credit. Their offense is rolling, man. With scoring 40 points a game. It's pretty amazing without Adams last night against the Saints, which put the Saints at 1-2, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers first in the NFC South. How about that, huh? Saints on the decline. Atlanta can't buy a bucket. So it's a lot of crazy things going on out here. Tim was right about that. How serious is the injury? We talked about that. I like that. Area 31, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Tim Witherspoon, special teams, we need to tighten up a little on our line and eliminate those blocks. Other than that, super happy with the kicking game. Yep, the kicker's doing his job. The blocking is a whole nother thing. Winfield Sr. molded a great player. He's very smart. Of his age, literally playing carefree and is working for him. Yep, you're not thinking, you're just playing, and that is the key part. Buccaneers, I like that. Mr. Eric White, how about the number 32 ranked special teams? I mean, we're not really getting anything as far as returns, but as long as the kickers are making kicks and putting the points on the board that you're supposed to put on, I don't care where they rank Tampa Bay, honestly, in special teams. Chargers lost to the Panthers. We should win this game. Never take anything for granted. Week to week, I think we all know that anything could happen. I don't really like the bend but don't break defense we showed against the rookie late in the game. but the pick stopped it. Yeah, they had it. I mean, especially at that point in the game, which kind of brings me to my favorite part of the day, Deshaun, the breaking point. And can anybody guess what the breaking point was? You know what? I'll just play it. Let me show you what I thought the breaking point was. The breaking point was, like you said, Mike Edwards coming off of an injury, coming to play the top while Winfield came down to play the nickel spot, baited the safety into throwing that inside route by the middle receiver on a post route. Safety totally disregarded Edwards. Edwards baited him the whole way. He knew he was single high safety. He had that receiver going over to the top in the middle and baited the quarterback to throw that throw, and he went over top and made a one-handed interception. Matter of fact, let me just stop talking and just show it.
What are we gonna do? Game over, man. It's game over.
Ripping to the end zone, and it's picked up by Edwards. First career interception for the former Kentucky Wildcat. Graham Glasgow
There it is. Baited and faded him. Picked off his first INT of his career. A good one, too. On a backup QB, but a pick nonetheless. Misador, the fumbled exchange. Again, I watched it a second time. I think it's the chemistry deal. Brady seems to have the ball high, and then the window, again, was low. The first one, Misador, I think Ronald Jones had the wrong elbow up, and he couldn't get the ball in there. And Leonard Fournette, yeah, I mean, it kind of was high, but it was still, if you know it's a handoff, you know the ball's coming. And he's got to clamp down on the ball. But, yeah, you're right. That's 2 weeks in a row where there's fumbles. And I know we talked about Antoine Winfield a lot. We got to give credit where credit due as well. Jason Pierre-Paul has had a sack in every game. Consistently old-timer coming out there, performing, taking advantage of single coverage, no coverage or protection on him. Same as Shaq Barrett said, he got lucky. Jason Pierre-Paul had some of the pressure off of him, and he got the slide and get opportunities. So that's how a defense works. Vita Vea came away with the sack. Winfield came away with the sack. A lot of people came away with a lot of plays because everybody's doing their jobs. And like Shaq said in the interview, Devin White actually missed a sack in the end zone for the safety, but Shaq Barrett was able to come across and clean up. So as long as everybody's contributing and doing their jobs, like overall numbers don't really matter, and it needs to be looked at as a whole. Sometimes I think everybody gets so locked in on sack numbers and stat numbers when the overall performance and sack numbers came from the performance of your teammates causing pressures and things like that. So it's all good. Eric White says, what about the Fournette fumble? We talked about that. It was a handoff exchange, but it goes to the quarterback on a quarterback exchange. And we were talking about that. Maybe it's continuity a little bit there. I'm sure they're going to clean that up because that's 2 weeks in a row. Fortunate for them, they didn't lose the ball on that fumble, but they lost it last week with Ronald Jones. JPP get off is a huge advantage. He's so quick, and as Shaq said, he brings so many different variations of how he rushes. And Shaq Barrett says he learns a lot of things from him and tries to learn how to get ways to the quarterback and do different things to get there. So it's very interesting how they learn off of each other and try to tweak each other, challenge each other. As he said, Devin White tells him, "Oh, I'm gonna get to the quarterback first," and he's like, "There's no way you're gonna get to me." But he enjoys the challenge that they challenge each other on, and it's cool to see that you're having camaraderie and things like that within your teammates and trying to get a rise out of each other to try to get better each and every game. So I think it's cool. Crystal Cole, I didn't realize that Whitehead was still in the game, and I figured that he was injured, but Winfield moved to nickel back. Yep. Yeah, they're all gonna make plays. Whitehead makes a lot of plays at the line of scrimmage like a linebacker. And it's just great that what Todd Bowles is doing, and they got the guys that he wanted at the safety position, so you can interchange people and move them around and try and making plays all over the field and have different variations of looks and things like that, Chris. So it's awesome that Todd Bowles, like Jack Perry said again, he's the mastermind, the mad scientist, and stuff like that. Again, if you're just tuning in, it's a Sports Talk 49 live on BooksReport.com, powered by 320 Solar. Voice is kind of hoarse from yesterday. So we'll go to a break here. We'll get Allison on in a few. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back. If you guys want to get on, I'll put the link in the description box. If you have questions for Allison and stuff like that, you just turn your camera off and do audio. So I think that's cool. So we'll do that and go to this break, and we'll be back. So stay tuned.
Power bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up. Going solar with 320 may cost you nothing down. But the work we do is not a $0 job. With a 10-year roof penetration warranty and solar panels guaranteed for 25 years, you can have peace of mind knowing we will do the job right every time without question. .320 Solar. Power up.
What's up, everybody? And we're back. The Sports Talk 49 live on BooksReport.com, powered by 320 Solar by 320solar.com. Do not pay anything out of pocket till 2022. Just go to 320solar.com. Don't get a consultation that will pay for your electric bill. Check them out. Just check them out. Doesn't hurt to ask, just to get in there and hit up Frank Gammons and check them out and see what they got going on. Also, check out the Deck Bar Sports Bar and Grill, the official sports bar and grill of BucsReport.com. There for every game. They're doing a live presentation there, taking calls from people and doing our analysis, as you know, as I always do, like my Friday analysis. And then last but definitely not least, Fast Track Clinics of America, MyCannabisCard.com. My Cannabis Clinics of America is nation's largest medical marijuana doctor with over 2,500 state licensed doctor in all 32 states. Medical marijuana is legal. My Cannabis Card effectively links new patients with the closest state licensed medical marijuana doctors near them. In all 30, near them, while also saving them 30% evaluation costs. Just mentioned Bucks Report. Tongue twister there. So we got through that. Just waiting on Allison now to jump in here, and we'll get into that. And she has her special treats and everything that she's got going on. She's always got some goodies and surprises. You never know with her little trouble sometimes. And then we'll talk about Steelers and around the league. How about the Atlanta Falcons dropping another game, coming from behind to the Bears, the Bears benching Mitchell Trubisky, and then them putting in Nick Foles, former Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, and coming away with a victory. And ensuing to that, Nick Foles is named the starter from here on out for the time being. The Philadelphia Eagles are 0-2-1, right along with the Bengals, 0-2-1. Who would have thought the Bengals wouldn't have? The Bengals, yes, but the Eagles. Who would have thought the Eagles would not have a victory all season yet? And then you get a tie. That's like nobody wants a tie on their record, especially with a 0 wins column. So is Carson Wentz's job in jeopardy? Is the head coach's job in jeopardy? Is it time for Jalen Hurts to come in there? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Jalen Hurts could play that RPO offense that the Eagles succeeded with Nick Foles. So it's very interesting to see what they do going forward past this. I know everybody's kind of not trying to get overexcited with the first 4 weeks, of the season. The first quarter, as I would say, is 4 quarters, 4, 4, 4, and 4. With the first 4 weeks, and they see how a team looks, and then you make adjustments or not. Or do you want to wait at the midpoint around week 8 and make adjustments? It's going to be really interesting to see how these teams want to move these pieces around and do this stuff like that, because it's like for some teams it hasn't looked really good. Then you got teams like the Arizona Cardinals that played, Kyler Murray looked lights out for 2 weeks, and then drops 3 interceptions against Detroit. Good solid defensive team. And Arizona's kind of on the uprise with the explosive offense they have now, so it's interesting. I love seeing this new aggressive game style, the blitzes. Yet when you got the right players and the people that are going to cover people, you can do things like that. When you got people that are shaky, you can't do those things. So you're getting to see a comfortable defensive coach able to call things like that, and people actually getting home on the blitzes. Eagles let the wrong GM, coach, and QB leave. Yikes. Russell, oh yeah, you in Philly. What's going on, brother? Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people believe that Nick Foles should have stayed there. He had the team behind him. I know a lot of people like Wentz and his early success, but since he got the contract, they really haven't been the same. Deshaun, I'm so happy about the Falcons losing. Living in Atlanta is horrible because of the Falcon fans. Absolutely. And I know they ride you a lot out there and, giving you a hard time when you're, especially when they when the Falcons beat the Bucs, or the Bucs continuously finish last place in the division. So yes, it's absolutely, I can see the irony. And now you're laughing that they're just blowing leads ridiculously. And if you missed earlier, I had Jamal J. Bug Sanders, J. Boogie, as a lot of people know, on earlier. Buccaneer fan fanatic, gives great insight on his page and on social media. I said he's looking forward to seeing the Lightning try to get win tonight and get a Stanley Cup, bring it back since 2004 here to Tampa Bay. So we're looking forward to that. If you guys check that out, Peter Blake will also be on at 9 p.m. tonight. So make sure to check both of those out. Checking out the Lightning and listening to Peter Blake, giving you score updates and updating you on the post game of the Denver Broncos. Rasul gives Joe Douglas, GM, Frank Reach, offensive coordinator. Something's got to happen, Rasul, out in Philadelphia, because it's getting crazy out there. It's getting crazy that this team is disappointing, and you know just as well as I do. I lived in Philly for some time, and those fans won't tolerate below even mediocrity, and that's really what it is right now. And it's such a highly sought after, football team with the fans, and the NBA is one thing, but their passion is football. Their passion is football, and that's really what they want to win at. And they got their Super Bowl, but they just not satisfied with one. But they want to keep winning and keep their winning ways in Philadelphia. But right now, it's not looking good. And not sure if it's with the team. I really don't know where the dysfunction of the team is coming right now. So it's really hard to say, to pin down what exactly is happening out there in Philly, because it's really disheartening with no wins at this point, coming up to the first quarter of the season. I expect a lot of teams, though, that are struggling or are at midpoint right now. When I say midpoint, I mean like with their wins losses. I expect a lot of them to come on later on in the season and start and rack up some more wins and trying to change the fate, because I've seen, I'm sure a lot of you guys watching, a lot of you fans watching later, I've seen teams come out really, really hot, and then later on in the year kind of fizzle out, drop 9 games straight, and things like that. And there are a lot of teams that don't start off hot, go 2-4, 1-4, and things like that, and turn their season around, going on an 8-game win streak, getting the right things going, getting the chemistry going, and seeing it turn around. That's the thing that fans and myself and everybody really loves about the NFL and sports, is because you don't know what's going to happen week to week. Injuries, game plans, opportunities in games, weather implications, and things like that. There's so many intangibles that happen in games, and then sometimes it's just an outright onslaught, where everything goes wrong or everything goes right for a team. And that's why we watch the game. It's very interesting, and it's great. And you just love watching the game. Hold on, let me try to get Allison on here for you guys, because I know she wants to get on so bad, bringing that passion as she always does. 1 second, stand by. Send her the link. I'd love to get her in here any minute. So so that's the reason why we watch the game, is because anything can happen. I know she's going to talk about the Steelers here. They almost dropped the bomb to the Texans. I believe, what was it, 28-21 or something like that? And the Texans currently 0-3. It's not, that's not good at all. You almost giving the team its first win. Nobody ever wants to be that team to give a defeated team their first victory. Nobody ever wants to be that team to give a team its first victory. So it's like almost the same exact, you want to get off the snide and not have a win. So I know the Steelers definitely did not want to give the Texans their first win and be that team to give them a win. And speaking of that team, let me bring on that girl, the sister from another mister, the one and only Allison Killshot Kohler.
Whoa, you've been working on that. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I notice when I say it slower, I say it correctly. When I try to be fluid with it, it comes out wrong.
That's how it is with almost everything. Right? In general, like in life, for all of us.
Oh my.
Keep it slow and low.
Slow and low. That's definitely what you do when you cook. Slow and low.
Yes, but I never cook.
Oh dear Lord. Allison, well, how was your Sunday?
Oh, it was eventful as always, right? During the football season, it's always such a good time, and it looks like I came in at the right spot, because I come on and you're talking about the Steelers, so I was like, wow, like the timing on that, like how did you know? You know what I mean?
Been around you long enough, and it's Football Monday here in the Tampa Bay area. So I'm gonna give you one of these today because it's Football Monday. Check.
Oh, whoa, that's creepy. That's funny, but yet creepy.
You get all the Bucks Report staff on emoji. That's what you get.
That is hilarious. You'll have to at some point show that again, like surprise me with it, because I want to see. Like I saw your face, and
yeah, everybody's in there.
Catch them all. You know what I mean? Like wow,
Pokemon, gotta catch them all.
Good stuff. Yeah, exactly. I like that.
So what you got for us today? I know you want to talk Steelers Texans. What was going on today, and why did the Steelers almost drop that game?
Right. Yeah. Well, so a lot of things, like there was a controversial where they put the ball spotting of the ball after, and it was a great play in like the third quarter, 3rd and 2. Ben eludes pressure and he starts running to the sidelines, and he's looking like he's 35 instead of 38. I mean, he's very slow, but he's doing it right. And then he stiff arms Whitney Merciless and overstretches, almost bobbles it, because he's trying to hold on to the ball so he can stretch it out like over the line.
Mm-hmm.
And he totally so his knee grazed the ground, but the refs never gave him the extension of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even, he had his it was, anyway, it's something you would almost have to see. I would say, look it up if you haven't seen it. There's a highlights. If you Google Steelers Texans highlights, it's like the first video to come up. And it's really, but anyway, so there was a whole challenge thing there, and they didn't get it, and it was 3rd and 2. Thankfully, they, so Ben throws a bomb to Chase Claypool at I think it was the 20-yard line.
Mm.
And the Texans were called for pass interference, which it really, I thought it was kind of questionable. I think they got lucky. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, I mean, it was a wild game. Up at the scores changed point. You know what I mean? They changed the winners changed throughout the game, and it was one of those nail biters that the Steelers have just been. They're already known for it, but there's been 3 consecutive nail biters that, thankfully, even though it's a slim margin, they've come away with wins. And so they're 3-0 right now. They join teams like the Seahawks and some other teams that I can't remember right now. And whoever wins tonight's game is the 3-0, the 3-0 club. So, but they have Tennessee next week, and Tennessee is tough. They're 3-0 too, as far as I know. I haven't started needing to study them yet for Steelers. That starts tonight, but yeah, it's whoa. I mean, they've really got to step it up. They can't be winning games by 6-7 points versus teams like the Titans and the Titans.
Yep.
And the Browns and Baltimore. I mean, it's early. It's September, and they just need to keep winning, but they're gonna have to be better, and more efficient going forward in order to beat these tough teams, down the schedule. So
I agree. It's the same thing what people were talking about Tampa Bay, kind of get lackadaisical in the second half. You got to play a complete game, is I guess a better word to say what you were trying to say. You got to play a complete game and put teams away when you got chances to put them away instead of leaving them in the whim. Right. Steelers win that game 28-21, but there are some ups and there are some downs. Ben had to throw for 36 attempts with 237 and 2 touchdowns. James Conner did have 18 carries for 109 yards and a touchdown, showing his dominating that he needs to be the starter. But the shocker of the day wasn't Juju Smith-Schuster's touchdown. It was the Steelers getting more involved with the tight end position and Eric Ebron with the 5 receptions for 52 yards and a touchdown. So it was good to see Eric Ebron getting in the end zone there, former first-round pick of the Lions, years ago, and then now ending up in Pittsburgh. When they picked him up, I thought that was a good fit for them since Heath Miller, they really had no dominant tight end.
Right. Yeah, it's great. It's great to see, them finally getting the tight ends involved. They had been involved much to start the season, and when Mike Tomlin was asked about it at the press conference, he's just like, you wait and see. It's early, and he was right, and that was just last week. And so he started getting the tight ends more involved. Offensive coordinator Randy Fichtner, has a plan, for using them. And I was in Detroit. I lived in Detroit when the Lions drafted Eric Ebron. Kind of, I was like, that's cool. This is awesome. But yeah, he was known for being stone hands, and there was a little bit of a concern. The first catch that he caught the first pass from Ben, and then the second pass, it was one of those things where he totally had his hands on it and just dropped it. Oh no, you know what I mean? Like I had flashbacks, to his previous career, or more so with the Lions than anything.
Yep.
But thankfully, yeah, he really stepped it up and had got his first touchdown as a Steeler, and that was just really, really great to see. And him showing his athleticism, and he runs routes of a wide receiver, even though he's labeled a tight end. A weapon like that is exactly what the Steelers need.
Well, that was the thing about Eric Ebron. He goes to a school that I much follow, Tar Heel Nation. At a UNC, he had great speed and he had great hands in college. I don't know what the transition was from going to the NFL to college. I mean, from college to the NFL, where he got labeled with those hands. I don't know if it's lack of confidence or whatever it is, but you're right. He was stone hands for a long time out there in Detroit, and Detroit didn't really utilize him as well. With the tight end position. I don't know what Detroit was doing at that point in time, and then went on and had success with Andrew Luck, and where he had a bunch of touchdowns out there, and they kind of lost their way when it went Jacoby Brissett and all from there. So hopefully he can get back on track out there in Pittsburgh, because they definitely need some help out of the tight end position when they don't get it out of the running back spot.
Right. Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, they looked really good, and like you were talking about earlier, it's looking like, so Mike Tomlin was all weird in the offseason, right? They asked him about how they were going to use his running backs because he's got a bunch of them. He was like, oh, James Conner's the lead dog. James Conner's the bell cow. James Conner's our man. James Conner, blah, 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 blah. So I wrote it because it certainly sounded along the lines, and I know other Steelers media wrote it as well, that, he is standing his ground and he's not going to be using a rotational running back system this year. James Conner is the man. Like we're just gonna keep running his wheels off until he's dead, and we can no longer use him, and then we'll just be, goodbye. But thankfully, even though Snell hasn't been playing very much because he's had fumbleitis, and they activated the rookie running back Anthony McFarland for
the speedster out of Maryland. Yep.
Yes, exactly. He didn't play at all last week, and Tomlin said it was because of just the way the game was going. They didn't need him, so he was suited up, ready to go. He didn't go last week, but he started yesterday, and he shined. What attracted the Steelers to McFarland was partially his speed and his athleticism, and he showed both of those off yesterday. And it's really good to see because, like I said, they're not playing Benny Snell very often. They gave it to Jalen Samuels on a critical, 4th and 1 or something like third. They needed him to get it, and he just didn't. So I think we're going to see, Samuels not, be playing at all very much going forward, and it be a mix of James Conner, Anthony McFarland, and Benny Snell, and that they played a balanced game yesterday with him, and I think he's in a contract year. Conner is, and everybody's saying, oh, if he plays for a hometown discount, and that would be the only way the Steelers would be able.
They're not going to overpay.
Exactly, they're not going to overpay, and they're not going to be. They're just not going to be in a position financially where they're going to be able to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Again, with his injuries, he had one already. So it's like, hopefully that was the injury of the season, and we'll just see this side of James Conner going forward, because they really need to have, a stable run game in order to be in the playoff, contenders, be playoff contenders. So.
Absolutely. Even with the extra playoff spot and in one of the hardest divisions in the AFC North, you never know what's going on there, especially with the weather implications. You definitely need a blanket security. Funny with the weather, with the running back position up north when that comes. 'Cause you don't want to throw the ball in snowy games like that unless you really, really have to. So James Conner's playing for two things, probably playing to keep a spot and playing to get a paycheck next year from somebody who's willing to overpay, because I think we're both in agreement with each other that the Steelers are not going to overpay for the running back position.
Yeah, they're not going to really. I just don't see it happening. But you never know. I mean, probably.
All right, what else you got for us, Alice? I know you always got some goodies.
Right. Yeah. Well, what's cool, I wanted to mention before I get on to the next thing, is that the game tonight, like, I'm almost more excited about the outcome of tonight's game, because, it already in week 3, it has playoff implications for this. And so it's obviously, I'm a Chiefs fan for the day. I'd rather, it's going to be hard enough dealing with Kansas City when the Steelers hopefully will have to, but it would be helpful, to not have to see the Ravens lose a game, and it would just be great.
Everybody was waiting for this game, and unfortunately Tampa Bay Lightning have to play against that too as well tonight, and Peter Blake goes live at 9 p.m. There's a lot going on tonight.
Oh yeah. Peter's going to have himself a great show.
You're fighting against a lot tonight.
It's going to be, oh man, when I saw that on the schedule, I was like, it is going to be a gem. Like this game is going to be, like I said, I think I'm more about it actually than it was for the Steelers game. Obviously, that kind of shows, and I'm really excited about Steelers game. So that kind of shows how excited I am about tonight's game. That's my story.
You know what's going to be funny is that if it's a low scoring affair with these two offenses, something funny like that would happen. Be just a low scoring game, and none of the hype is there, or something like that, because everybody expecting 30 points apiece. That's what everybody's expectations are right now. It ends up being 15-18 game or something like that. There's some crazy games. So we get to see these two MVPs play against each other, and one's the former Super Bowl champ and the current Super Bowl champ, I should say, and one is the current last year's league MVP. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm really looking forward to it. And Lamar and Patrick, Mahomes and Jackson are two phenomenal quarterbacks. So it's like, this is just a great opportunity in general to watch two, really just
Titans.
Yeah, exactly. Just playing the same game. And it's going to be a great matchup, no doubt.
No doubt indeed. So what else you got for us, Allison? I heard you got some goodies for us today.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't know, for viewers, for Sports Talk 49 viewers who may have tuned in last week, Blake and I very much kind of pimped, you know what I'm saying? We kind of previewed a surprise that was around the corner, and hopefully, this will have met your expectations of said surprise, because what I have right here
what's that?
Is an open letter to Tom Brady from a Steelers fan.
Well, I have a confession I have to make too. I kind of cheated and saw what you were writing, and I have a clip of what you wrote. So I know you. I know you don't know about it. I just had to put it out there. And let me just stop talking about it and show you. Here it is, everybody. I'm sorry. Here's a confession. Like Usher, here's my confessions.
It's amazing. Wow. I'm like almost. How did you do that? You have a camera stuff in here? I mean,
so
wow.
We caught you. I couldn't show the whole thing. I'd rather you let you talk the rest, but I had to give the people a little something what they were getting themselves into.
Right, they'd see if you typed more, there'd be a bunch of expletives and
I did. That's why I had to stop right there.
Well, I hope you have the censor button because there's a lot of. No, I'm just kidding. This is heartfelt, and from the heart, it's an outpouring of my everything for Tom Brady, and I'm very excited to share it with you guys. So here we go.
All right, here we go. Let me put you on the
Money
big
coming
screen.
down? Is that? I thought the money. I thought for sure the money.
Oh, yeah. I'm also gonna give it to you afterwards, but we'll give you the money shot right now. Your favorite. Here, ladies and gentlemen, this is
balls afterwards. Okay.
Gotcha.
See the
Oh Lord.
Okay. Here we go. I gotta take a drink.
Yep. Take your time. Get a drink. Ladies and gentlemen, Allison from USA Today Steelers Wire letter to Tom Brady. Tom, if you're watching this, I'm going to send this to you on Twitter.
Yes, we're going to totally send this out after this. Dearest Tommy, when you signed with the Bucs in the offseason, all of Steelers Nation shouted from the rooftops. We rejoiced that the Steelers would no longer have to face you in conference during the regular season. Hopefully, when Pittsburgh plays Tampa Bay in 2022, you'll be retired. After you came along in the year 2000, 4 things were certain in life: death, taxes, and crushing my beloved Steelers. The Steelers' record is 3-12 in 15 all-time showdowns versus the New England Patriots under Tom Brady. 3 of those times you took the Steelers down were in the AFC Championship games. 3 opportunities the Steelers had to defeat you to go to the Super Bowl and lost. Steelers Nation is thrilled to no longer have to deal with your stats. You have completed over 70% of your passes for 3,744 yards, 29 touchdowns, and only 5. At Gillette Stadium versus the Steelers, you have completed 72% of your passes for 1,797 yards, 18 scores, and 0 touchdowns. 0 interceptions. 18 scores and 0 interceptions for a quarterback rating of 130.8. Not only will Steelers Nation no longer have to contend with your crushing defeat, but we no longer have to see you whine, cry, and pout when something doesn't go your way. So thank you, Tom Brady, for having headed south here to Tampa Bay in the offseason, where before Steelers Nation cheered your demise, we now only wish you well in the twilight of your career. Love and luck, Allison Kohler and Steelers Nation. Tom Brady.
That was very heartfelt and heartbreaking at the same time. She said 3,000 yards. And she said with a quarterback rating of 130. Oh, I felt a knife. I was like, and she said only 5 interceptions in 15 meetings. Yes. Good Lord. I can understand why they're happy he's gone.
Yes. Right. I knew, of the crushing defeat at his hands throughout the years, but when you're really studying the number, like looking up the numbers, it was just, I had to take my tissues and wipe my eyes and blow my I was bawling. I was like, but then afterwards I was like, no longer. But again, it could happen in like the Super Bowl. I mean, here in Tampa, like how
Steelers coming back to Tampa for another one,
dude. That
That would be crazy. That would be 2 times in Tampa. They come back here. They already won one here against, ironically, Bruce Arians and the Arizona Cardinals. Ironic story to that. If that happened. But I think even with the 15 losses, I think you guys would rather take all the other losses rather than the ones in the playoffs leading to the Super Bowl. I'd rather take all the other regular season ones versus the big ones.
Yeah, that's for sure. For sure. So yeah, studying those numbers, and I was surprised. I was surprised I could read my handwriting. It tends to get a little sloppy, when I'm really impassioned.
I call it doctor's handwriting when it's bad. I call it, that's what doctors do. Right,
exactly. Yeah. But once I got to the end where I was like, we wish you well in the twilight of your career, it was like, like a weight had been lifted.
It has been lifted. He's gone.
And his name is Tom Brady.
Good. She said, good long, goodbye, so long. Avita saying goodbye.
Exactly. We should have that nah, hey.
Oh, yeah. I think we'll get copyrighted.
Yeah, we should.
We'll get copyrighted. We play that on Facebook.
Hey. Good.
It was like what was that? The Bills not the Bills owner, but the mayor, what was it, Buffalo? Or he said he's happy Tom Brady's gone. I was like, wow, exactly. So they're really that happy.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of stole the idea, I will say,
it's all good.
From that guy, but it's it's from Steelers Nation, so it's like it's that much better. And Tom, when you see this, I just best of luck to you, man. I mean, and even when he was playing the Steelers, it's not like most Steelers fans had the utmost respect, for what Tom Brady did and just the historic records and just all the wins and the Super Bowls, and it's just total respect. But again, so that was written with respect at the same time as thankfulness.
Well, if I had to answer for Tom Brady, he'll definitely say this.
Here we go. Oh, that's so cool. You're so cool, man. Wow. I like that.
Little emojis. I figured you'd get a kick out of that. I know you like all those little surprises on there. So next time we're going to get the Allison Bucks up there for you. I know you really like that.
Or you can do that with faces of just me.
Oh, just you with different faces? That would be pretty hilarious.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, we pretty much got through the Steelers and everything. What else you got for us?
Oh, nothing, man. Just another week of games, very exciting, and another week ahead, and starting tonight, and it's just
Yeah, you got to start typing, right? You got to start working on your next assignments, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, I got to do that. I have like 5. Like I've had ADD all week. Like ADD is obviously, as you can tell, with me all the time, squirrel. Mm-hmm. But more so than ever, and so I have like 5 drafts working right now, and I have all these things that I want to do. So it's like I can't I'll start one and start another, and then I'll read something about that relates to the first one. So I'll go back to the first one and I'll start typing in there, and then I'll start a third one, even though my first and second ones aren't done. And it's just like, by the end of some days, I've got a lot just, going, and, finish it up by when I can.
Yeah, same here. They pretty much after today doing. I had Jamal on earlier, and I have you once. I had 2 guests on today, especially Allison. Not really a guest; she's my co-host. She brings the other energy here, all the way from, in Tampa, but bringing Pittsburgh Nation down here to Tampa, because there are a lot of Pittsburgh fans in this area, and I've seen all of them. Yeah, and so I got to start with our Friday's edition into the post game. I actually looked at your guys' tape against Denver last week, and I formulated what the Buccaneers were going to do to the Denver Broncos, and they did exactly what I said they were going to do. You guys used the blitzed off the edges with Edmonds and the corner off the edge on Driscoll, and it seemed to work. And Tampa Bay did the same formula. It worked, blitzing off their right. The defenses left and had much success in that. Tampa had 6 sacks, multiple turnovers. So
Yeah, their cornerback, Mike Hilton, has really been something else. He has an unbelievable amount of tackles right now, interceptions, forced fumbles. I mean, the list of his stats right now is extensive. So it's really good, really good to see, because so far Patrick's been quiet. Edmund sucks, So it's just really good to see somebody kind of, stepping up in the secondary, and helping get things done. I mean, the Steelers are like number one against the run. And I think they allowed something like 1.9 yards a carry, Houston versus Houston. So their run game is super phenomenal this year, but it's leaving their secondary, because they blitz so much. It's kind of leaving their secondary out there on an island. And
what I saw what Denver did against you guys, because you're making a great point, so I'm just going to piggyback on it. What Denver did to react to what you guys were doing to them, when he would notice you were blitzing, he kept going to the tight end. Devin Bush is not good in pass coverage. I've learned that watching the tape. Noah Fant victimized him badly. I'm sure you saw the game. He victimized Devin Bush badly, and they took advantage of the edges. I think it's 98 on your left. I can't remember who that is. 98, and the other, that's who they took advantage of when they went man coverages, which is why Melvin Gordon was able to score that touchdown on the right end zone in the corner, because they took advantage of the linebackers and coverage. But you're right. You hit it right on the head. The coverage and man coverage needs to get better. At least they got to hold the coverage long enough for the blitz to get there, because these guys were getting beat immediately when the receivers went out for routes.
You know what would be kind of fun? You just gave me an idea. It'd be fun to do like a show of yours, like as we're watching a game or watching some plays, and you just kind of breaking it down, and we should get like
I'll draw on the screen, all that.
We should put like some kind of something over the television so that you can draw circles and things, but you won't ruin the television screen. You know what I mean? Like, you could be like breaking it down.
Like old John Madden used to do. I miss that guy, man. I miss that guy. We got somebody on who wants to talk. Deshaun. Deshaun, welcome to the show. You got Allison from USA Today Steelers Wire, and of course, myself. She's much better looking than I am, so go for it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, absolutely. Crystal clear. You're not hiding at work again, are you?
Hey, shh.
All right.
Hey, so just a couple of keys to the game. I'm glad that Allison's on here, because I'm sure she's seen this over the years. The Steelers have always been able to build great 3-4 defenses, bring all kind of blitz pressure from everywhere and around. And I think right now what we're seeing in Tampa is you're seeing a second-year Todd Bowles. He's been able to kind of put this Frankenstein beast together. And right now what we're noticing is, and I said it the other week, and I spoke to you on Twitter as well. I was like, they got Shaq Barrett dropping back. They got JPP dropping back. I'm not so comfortable with that. But when I looked at it and I put my coach's hat on, I was like, okay, wait a second, though. The known rushers are not rushing. We're getting pressure from everywhere. Doesn't matter who's back there. And I like the depth that we have. It's given our depth a time to mature into the league, get some games under their belt from a mental standpoint. They're getting all these practices in. That 421 reps that BA's been talking about, they're getting them in right now, even though they're not playing. So what's happening with our defense is super dangerous. You'd never know who's coming. We're bringing pressure. You know that. You just don't know where it's coming from. I think when they moved, when Sean Murphy-Bunting went down and Winfield went into the slot, eerily Rondé Barber could be blitzing, real sticky around the line of scrimmage, good blitzer, and he's considerably, I would put him in the class of a Hall of Famer right now. I know I'm not jumping off of that right now, but I'm just saying what he was doing so far definitely gave you that Rondé Barber feel of, hey, he's up at the line causing all kind of confusion and disruption, which is what this 3-4 defense is supposed to do. But I want you guys to tell me what you think. The biggest thing about the 3-4 defense is when your front can create pressure. It's great, but 3-4 defenses, and you're seeing it right now with the Steelers, they're nothing without the back end guys being able to cover, go man, be able to handle everybody on their own and let that front work. What happened with the Steelers when they lost their glory, they lost all those exceptional pieces in the secondary. Well, we have them right now in Tampa. We got corners that can go man up, stick with you, tackle. We got safeties that are just, they're showing you they can do everything right now. And a defensive front, we only have one person in our defensive front that does not have a sack, and that's Nacho.
But
Nacho's the only person that doesn't have a sack. I mean, Will Golston he's showing you his worth. And we've got on Will Golston for years as just a cap salary. I thought he's been wearing his banded, and his balaclava all over his face for a long time, because think about it. I haven't seen the production in Will Golston. But look, even what's his name? Anderson, 98, came on. He came on yesterday getting pressure. He had that block.
He had a hit. Yep.
He had that big hit. He batted that ball down that Levante caught. That's where we're starting to see the defense be exceptional. And I think once this defense continues to work together, I know you saw this, Blake. The announcers even spoke about it. I speak to my kids about coaching. Like, listen, don't try to be the highlight person. Stop wanting to be the number one person on the podium. Do the necessary things. If I need you to grab the other guy when you're going through, I need you to hold two guys so my linebackers can get through on that blitz. I need you to do it. I saw Devin White do it. I saw him bump and ricochet. Later on, those ricochet bumps, he's going to go for the quarterback. He won't always take out a blocker for a D tackle to come through. But when a coach believes, and right now I say in Tampa, Todd Bowles has been able to believe in these players. They're showing and proving. Todd Bowles is able to believe that he should send his number one or first round draft pick in a Devin White in, have him take up a blocker for a veteran in Ndamukong Suh to come through and clean up. You got to believe that Ndamukong Suh, I've seen him run off the field. He doesn't look that fast. But when you call his number, then you got to believe as a coach that he's going to go through and get a hit on the quarterback. And people are talking about, the smile when he was running off the field and after he got that hit. That he's supposed to do that. And I'm happy that Ndamukong Suh did that, because that showed me that in this defense, I think they're willing to sacrifice for each other. No one's worried about. I know some fans, if they're very novice football IQ, they may look at Shaq Barrett and say, he's getting us for money. He's not going to get the number of sacks. We're playing him different. We're playing him in the best of the defense. We're not sitting him to rush every time, so you can't key on him. We're just sitting pressure. And I think what he's doing right now, look at his tackle numbers. He has a lot more tackles. I would say right now we probably have the best linebacking core. We definitely have the best two interior linebackers with Levante David and Devin White. I don't think that there's a pair that could truly match up. We're talking about speed, tackles, IQ. We may not be the biggest. That's it, because Levante is just not one of the bigger backers.
Right.
But he does great. Let me see. While you guys were on, I was like writing down my keys.
He's taking his
notes. You're doing it, man. You are.
No, he's always like that, Allison. He's always like that.
That's awesome.
Hey, I got one more thing for you guys, and then I'll get off and listen. Of course, I'm on everywhere with you guys. I'm listening to Bucks Report today, tonight. I'll have this on, watching the game. I don't care if it's sports talk. I don't care if it's salty dogs. I'm listening to Bucks everything. So let me give you guys this. I want to see what you're saying. I'm going to give you a couple of keys to it. I'm saying right now, Leonard Fournette should be the starter. I'm seeing a little bit in Rojo, and I like Rojo. I do not dislike Rojo, but there is some points where you have to say you have it and you don't have it. And when you get into a competition, right now, he's in a competition. And to me, he's seeming more as a role player than a bell cow. And a lot of I'm watching him, same blocking, same running. I can see Fournette skirt through. I can see him get through. Now I see a little bit out of him. I'm not discounting, but if Fournette, he gives me the feeling, and I've played college, I've played semi-pro, I've coached high school, I've coached these youth kids all this time in many sports. And there's just certain kids that have it. And there's certain kids that they have the physical ability, but their drive is just not there to push to the next level. And that's the only reason why some kids don't make it. Some kids do make it. Now, Ronald Jones is getting every opportunity right now. But if you look at his carries versus Leonard Fournette and what he gets, Leonard Fournette just seems like his veteran nature, what we've seen him do against those fronts. he's just going to do more than what I see Ronald Jones doing. I just don't see it out of Ronald Jones. Do you guys see it right now that he should be owning this one spot?
I'll jump in here. No. When you bring that points to me about not finding holes, it reminds me of the time when the Browns took Trent Richardson, and they showed it. I don't know if you guys remember this. You might remember it too, Allison. They showed the backs all in the league of everybody running the same kind of inside zone runs and watching everybody, Doug Martin, everybody find creases to get those 4 or 5 yards. And they showed Trent Richardson running into the back of his lineman. So which it showed that he doesn't have the field vision to see these holes and anticipate those holes. So you made a great point. Either you have it or you don't. Well, that's something you can't be taught. That's just it's a instinct is the word I'm trying to say. Look for it. It's an instinct that you know that somebody's going to shift over a gap, or you pretend to go one way, but you're really going back to the other hole. Those things can't be taught. They have to be instilled in you to make those kind of plays.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I also think I remember with Trent Richardson, I remember the program that he came from in college. He didn't have to do that in college. He had the big hogs in front of him. He did not have to. There was always going to be holes. They were playing against lesser talent. But when he got to the big boy league, that wasn't the case. And listen, not for long, it happened to him. And I think what Ronald Jones is, you can see it on his face when they zoom in. Listen, you know,
don't look like he's confused sometimes.
You're in a competition. You have a veteran back that is used to seeing 9 and 10 man fronts because he's the only option. When Denver will not bring those safeties down for anything, when they stay back there, I know Fournette's just salivating because he knows that, listen, I can get through here. And eerily, I'm going to take it back to old Steeler. You talk about, you look at Bettis. Remember when Bettis saw 2 safeties staying back, it was, it's game time.
Licking the chops.
You can't do anything with me if you don't have safety support. So when I see Leonard Fournette come in, I'm just thinking like, okay, and I'm watching. I don't want to get into habits because Brady is very habit forming. McCoy comes in. We know McCoy's going to get it. I'm happy that they went to the tight ends this week. They have to continue to develop the offense on the offensive side. But my call generally was this defense is going to get better. It's continuing to get scary. I'm waiting for Nacho to get his sack. I want everybody in that defense front to have one. Right now, Nacho is the only person that doesn't have one. I know they work hard. I know, Blake, you've seen, and Allison, you may have seen it also. I know you've seen that rotation. They're heavily rotating them, and I was thinking that they're heavily rotating those bigs down there because they don't want anybody to get injured, tired. Injuries come with your fatigue. They're making sure, and there's been times I've been like, why isn't Vita in? Why isn't Vita in? Why isn't Sue in? And they got Nacho in. They may have Nacho, Golston in together, and I'm like, wait, which pairing is that? Which group is that? Right. And I've even seen Quinn Bell in there at times. So they get people in rotation, and you got to be watching closely to catch that. If you're only watching the usual suspects, you'll miss those important things about the game. And sometimes me and my son are going over this film, and I'm like, listen, who do we see in? Because he's playing quarterback now, and I want him to watch players and know that, hey, if this guy's in, they're coming, and we're calling out blitzes. And I'm like, okay, look at these backers. And I just think that's one of the reasons why this 3-4 defense in Tampa is doing so well. We have the personnel to play on the back end, the defensive front's where it is. And I'm saying right now, I'll start that challenge. Listen, you guys can put it out here on Sports Talk 49. I still think we need to do the Donovan Smith challenge. We're all just going to show our kickback at left tackle, and we're just going to start that as a challenge. So let's everybody just kick back and see if we can go, because he's got to get better. And I know he's going to continue to get help, but I'll get off and listen, guys. Go Bucks. You know what it is. Fire those cannons.
Yeah, appreciate you calling in. We love you.
Sean. That was well said.
That's the way he brings it.
You know these notes and things.
I saw you. Was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's the Sean. He always does that. He comes in here because he's got his son playing high school now, so he's really involved with his kids and all that. He's always been, and he loves the sport. And he's like me as a student of the game. Even though that you might want to consider this, I mean, that's why I have my name the way I have it, Sports Talk 49, because I'm not just I'm here in Tampa and I talk to Buccaneers and stuff, but I want people to understand that I study other teams too, and I can talk. You see how I ramble on about the Steelers. You're like, geez, he knows a whole lot about the freaking Steelers just as much as he knows about these Bucs. Because I look at all these stuff when I look at game tape and things like that, and as Deshaun said, tendencies and stuff like that. And he said things that are comparable to the Steelers that are also with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You just previously just said what he said, but Steelers version.
Right. Yes.
Steelers version.
I was like, man, the Bucs are sounding an awful lot like what the Steelers have going on right now. You know, their pass rush is absolutely on fire, and there's for the Steelers, Fitzpatrick and Nelson haven't been their normal selves. I mean, there's you don't hear their names, and when you do, it's because Nelson got burned for a touchdown yesterday, and it was just like, where are you? Like, come on, man. You guys are like the reason why we're not number one, against the pass. So they need to get on that. But definitely, I mean, Deshaun was talking about Fournette. I mean, you guys really got yourselves a great running back in Leonard Fournette. I mean, he's a jerk, but really when it comes down to is when he's healthy, he's a phenomenal running back. And I think the Bucs should really look to do, because as you guys both pointed out, Rojo isn't really a starter type of guy. So I see what the Bucs should do is something like the Steelers are doing. Like, finally, Tomlin's realizing after 4 seasons, that James Conner can't stay healthy, but he's productive when he's on the field. So he's finally putting it together in that, well, maybe we should only give him 15 carries a game, 20 carries a game, instead of, giving him the rock, 30 times, like. He's
not that guy. He can't take the 30 pounding, the 30 pace pounding. So we give it to these other guys, let them get a spell. As Deshaun said, when you're winded, you tend to get injured because you're not going at 100%. And that's usually when you get hurt, is when you're not going 100%.
And ever since Tomlin's been here, I mean, and the Steelers were never they never were rotational running used.
No.
Because
the only time you guys did that was, I'm gonna take it back for you, Mewelde Moore.
Right, Mewelde Moore. There were a few seasons. I mean, there was when Angelo Williams was with Pittsburgh.
Yes,
and they had to do it last season because of injury. Just
right.
Unit was just riddled with injuries, and obviously there's no other choice in that point than to use more than one running back. But it's finally I think it's really starting to click in terms of how to best use the running game in Pittsburgh, and it's exciting to see, especially if McFarland can continue those flashes like he had yesterday. I mean, it's going to be good. But he had also mentioned injuries, like they've been. I mean, I'm knocking on everything that's wood right now, and I think it's the same with the Bucs. But you hear of all these injuries, and thankfully, there's been nothing major. For the Steelers this year. And I think that goes back to the offseason and how each club handled, the conditioning of their players when they weren't right in front of them.
Right.
So I think this kind of goes to show that the clubs that have staved off injuries so far, just, you've seen a lot of players they've lost weight, they shaved pounds. I mean, Ben looks awesome. Pretty much every player on the Steelers was put under some kind of regimen.
I want to jump in right quick before you finish that. I want to give props, as I always give props to everybody's talking about equality and things like that. Buccaneers trainer is a female. I can never pronounce her name, but there's a lot of these female. I can never do it. I know Lori Lowe, Coach Lowe. I never pronounce her name, but I just want to put it out there. There's these female coaches and trainers, and they're doing exceptional, phenomenal jobs out here that flies under the radar. And me, I'm a big part on everybody getting their love. Like when I did that piece on women equal pay and things like that, I'm just happy they're getting their opportunities, and these girls and these ladies need to get their props too.
Yeah, I mean the trainers, especially in such a non-traditional, weird, jacked up off season that we've had, the trainers are they're always an integral part of any organization, but especially this year. I mean, like you said, it's just they've done such a great job. The teams that have staved off the injuries, like I've said, have done such a great job. And again, some of it isn't. I mean, New York MetLife Stadium. I mean, what a mess was that field, So it's like that had so much to do with those injuries in particular, but there's just players dropping like flies all over the place. And
yeah, especially the Niners.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Yeah. So you really have to kind of look and see, it.
I have an interesting stat. If you're ever bored and you want to check it, I'm just too lazy to do it, but I think it's interesting. I asked Citro, he's interested in the stat. I said, for anybody watching, so you can they text me, tweet me, Facebook, whatever you want. I'm interested to see how many injuries happen on grass field versus turf field. So I'm gonna tell you, the field we play on here in Tampa, there's two fields. There's a turf field and there's a grass field. And the turf field seems to be where everybody gets injuries. My knees feel great when I play on the grass field, but it hurt when I play on the turf. And the only injuries I've ever seen is on turf field. And I think that has a lot to do with what's happening in San Francisco. I believe it was a home game that all those injuries happened. So if anybody's bored and they want to figure that out, just whatever, I'm not sure how much time span, years you want to look at it, injuries on turf versus injuries on grass. I'm just curious.
Yeah. That would be super interesting, especially this season. And there's a guy who his name is Dr. David Chow. He does segments on SiriusXM and everywhere. He's on social all over the place and doing videos and things. And he's super, super insightful with a lot of things like that. So that would be kind of interesting to ask him, to kind of if he hasn't already. I mean, considering all the injuries going on that are cause of grass and versus turf. It would be interesting to see, the data on that. So
yeah, interesting when you think about it. Like, you got a point. Like, it's curious because I know for a fact from playing on it, you can feel a difference between playing on turf and playing on grass. When you fall on it, when you run on it, and afterwards, you feel different. So it's curious.
Yeah, that'd be more fun to do.
Well, Allison, it's that time again. We got to wait for another week. Well, we had fun today.
We did have fun today. We did. We totally had fun. And we talked about last week before we go. You and I had talked about last week doing a show on location sometime. And
yes, we got to work on that. Get out to a remote location somewhere. So we can work that out. We got
sports bars in the area, and get us a spot. Be kind of fun, I think.
You said, well, you could always come out with us on Sundays as well, because we go to the deck every Sunday.
That's true. I hadn't. And is Peter doing the show live from somewhere? Is he doing it remote?
Yeah, it's remote. Sundays is remote at the Deck Bar and Grill.
Right, but tonight, like
he's at home. He's at home.
Okay, I wasn't sure because it's such a big night sports wise. If
I know it's gonna be crazy, right?
Somewhere, but yeah, because tonight would have been a perfect night for me to come out because it's not the Steelers. But yet it's still a fun game. So, but it's Monday night, and there's no Deck Bar and Grill on Monday night. So
no, and the Tampa's going to be tore apart if the Lightning win tonight downtown. So it's going to be interesting. So on a Monday, and then the parade and all that stuff. We'll see how that goes with COVID. So it's interesting to see how that turns out. You're right. You're not far from there anyway, where you are.
Oh yeah, it's like
you're not that far. So we'll see. So it'll be interesting these next couple of days, especially tonight with the sports on. NHL finals.
It's a sporty.
Yeah, it's a sportergy. It is. Your minds are gonna be
exactly.
And you know what? You know what happens when you get a whole bunch of sportergy? You get stuff like this. You love that one. I figured you get a kick out of that one.
I do. It's so much fun. It's like between that and the Blake Bucks. It's you've got an amazing production here, young man.
I spent a lot of time between week to week. Keeps me busy, keeps my mind moving, try to stay fresh. That's what we got to do before I lose my mom when we get older. We lose memories. But as always, Allison, you want to promote yourself and let everybody know where you can find your work?
Sure. Thank you, Blake. You can go to SteelersWire.com, and basically I'm all over there. You can search my name in the search box and find all my stuff. I'm also on Facebook at writer Allison Kohler, and on Twitter you can find me at SteelersWireAK.
Excellent. And as always, before you get out of here, let's give you that. And
Oh,
yeah, there it is.
Catching them. It's like that, like a
The
whirlwind.
Money Shower. Yeah, it was that TV show.
Right.
Yeah, that old show.
Right. I only wish it was real though, right? Like, in the game shows and things, when you're catching all that money.
Yep, fire those cannons, as Deshaun says. Well, Allison, we'll get you out of
Yeah.
here. Loved having you as usual. I'll see you next week.
All right, man.
Yep.
Later, dude.
Always fun times with Allison. It's the time flies so quick when she comes. We get to put her do a live remote and stuff like that. As it always, it's always fun to have her. Deshaun was awesome. Brought 110%. Brought stats and facts and things like that. He needs his own damn show. Shoot, Deshaun. And he brings us chilling with Deshaun. There you go. That's the show name. You can start on Twitter. You ain't even got to do video, Deshaun. You can just do audio and just post the audio. Work your way up. I started all this in 2015, man, and I came another astronomical as from the stuff I've learned and the advice I've taken from that time to this. But promote the other shows real quick. Make sure to check out the Sports Web tonight at 9 between 9 and 12 tonight. You had asked me anything with Nick Citro on earlier. You had me on today at 3, and it's 4:37 now. Appreciate you guys coming on here. Make sure to look for Friday, me doing the pregame, the winning angle. If you saw last week, and I'll post it on social media. It's on my social media pages and stuff like that. Make sure to check those out, and I'll have it ready for you Friday on what they need to do against Justin Herbert and the San Diego Chargers. And look to hear on here to see a former San Diego Charger interview here to talk about, what we need to do to win against the Chargers and what to look for and things like that with his old teammates that are still playing. Who will it be? You never know. Well, and it's as we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you, guys. God bless. Add me on Twitter. I forgot to add my Twitter drop. Got so caught up with the guests and everybody today. Twitter drop. And let me end it. You're the master of everything. What you do with life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you, guys. God bless, and fire those cannons.
Power bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up. Going solar with 320 may cost you nothing down. But the work we do is not a $0 job. With a 10-year roof penetration warranty and solar panels guaranteed for 25 years, you can have peace of mind knowing we will do the job right every time without question. .320 Solar. Power up.